Hey, what is going on? We got a packed house today, bro.
Full house.
Real full, man. Jeez, how y'all feeling?
Doing all right, man. Another day.
What's up, man?
What's going on with you, bro?
What up, Rick?
Rich back again for another episode.
Yeah, man, last episode.
That's a fire.
What up, bro?
Chilling, feeling
Way over there, Dave. Hold on, way over there, Dave. Hey, man, it's a great day again, man. How y'all feeling, man?
Great. Good, man.
Great. We woke up.
We're seen and not viewed. I like that, Rich. I like that. Well, man, I want to take this time and welcome you guys to another episode of The Corner Pocket. Man, we are live in living color, man. We got two special guests. One is not really a guest. He's not a stranger to one. Y'all saw him last episode dropping that heat. If you have not saw that relationship episode, go check it out. It is fire. Today, we got special guests. We got lady on the show. Oh my goodness. Y'all not ready. Let me do my normal. Hey, Truth, how you been, bro?
I've been all right, man. Been pretty good, man.
Pretty good.
Doing pretty good.
Dave, how you doing, bro?
I've been alright. I'm chilling like a villain, man. I'm keeping the crowd hype. Yeah, it's me, D-Nice, can't you see? I'm over here, got my arms crossed like a bully. No, I'm not though, I'm real cool. I am that Fulu. Yes, I'm so cool. I be acting silly every day. I wake up every day.
Yo.
Cause I be tweaking, dog. I'm tweaking for life. Yeah, dog, and I'm going in. I'm gonna go ahead and do something. Yeah, this me all day, and I ain't even frontin'. Yeah. I will go home, eat a peanut butter jelly sandwich, and go to sleep. Cause I'll be sleepy, man. Cause I'm a old man. You see this beard? I'm about to be 40, but I'm about to be 86 next week. Oh yeah, dog years. I don't know what to say, dog, man. Yo, come here.
Hey, that's very rich. Hey, sign that man. Sign that man.
The rapper don't be saying that.
Yeah. Sign that man, bro. Hey, Dave, I like that, bro.
Thanks, man. You know,
I like that.
You know, this is the Launchpad app. You know what I'm saying?
Dropping
challenges,
chips,
man.
dropping hummus.
Uh-huh.
I'm feeling you, looking like Nostradamus.
Okay.
I'm chilling you. I'm a trickster, bumping heat, coming straight from the mixer. Got Rich. I got Gina, not Tina, not Katrina. We chilling at the pad, the corner pocket, hit you in your socket. No, not violence, I'm knocking. Truth, you gonna say something, bro?
No. It looked good, like I was about to say no.
Why you always psyching us out, y'all? Why he always psyching us out, bro? Well, man, welcome back to another episode of The Corner Pocket. We got some special guests today. And we want to really, hit something that's been really, prevalent. It's like I heard, slave music going on. Dave, were you playing slave music? I heard some humming.
I'm next to you over there.
Oh, okay. I was like, spiritual Negro hymn.
Amazing grace.
Come on, y'all, let me use it.
How sweet the sound. Nah, I'm just playing, man. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, I know the Lord.
I once was lost.
I know the Lord. He heard my cry.
Hey, man, what's that beat that we sing the Jesus song to, bro? You got that beat?
The Jesus song. Oh, yeah. You want to hear the Jesus song?
Yeah, I want to hear the Jesus song. Man, before we get into it, we got to lift him up. Hey, so we got a special guest today while he's getting that Jesus song prepared. I just want to say one thing. I'm very thankful. Very thankful. You ready to do this, Knife? You ready to do this?
I guess. I mean, this is the brand new exclusive Jesus song because I just don't like this beat, but you know tomorrow we're gonna do a Jesus song beat. Like we had a discussion about this. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, Rich, sing it.
Thank you,
Jesus. Regina, come on.
Thank you,
Jesus. Sometimes I know. When I wake up in the morning now, and my back it be hurting, I say, oh Jesus, take the wheel, Lord, and it takes it, and I just get on up and walk around, and I say to you, hey, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. What's on the choir now?
thank you.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna hit that note for y'all. I'm gonna hit that note for y'all.
He worked the DC in order.
We had to get that out because when you're thankful, they said it's like fire shut up in your bones. You gotta get it out. You can't contain it. So we just had to say thank you. Jesus. Thank you, Dave, for that reverend. Thank you.
Yeah, man, I do got an offering plate in the back. That's the plate for the pictures on the fan, you know, the funeral stuff. So, yeah, we need the offering pictures and stuff on there, the fan. Because he might not be so technical and use logically words and stuff.
Church theological words.
Right, I can't even say it right because you think you're so somebody different with these twists. I'm trying to tell you, these twists, I even think of something. Hey, huh, D? You know what I'm saying, man? Like, what he's getting with, man?
It's a different person.
Yes, he is. I don't know who he is.
Samson, you remember Samson in the Bible, like, his hair was his strength, man. Like, hey, anointed. Anyway, so
She cut it off. She cut it off. He was weak.
so y'all, if my hair get cut off, I'm weak. Like SWV, I get so weak in the knees. All right, that's a whole nother show right there. So today, man, let's touch on this topic, man. It's a very sometimes controversial topic. Some people believe, some people don't believe. But this thing called faith, you know, always saying is faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. You know, and a lot of people have lost faith during this COVID time. And a lot of people have been through different things through this COVID time, or let's just say life in general. You know, life has a way of testing you and bringing crisis and difficulties. And it's like, how do you remain faithful or remain faithful in your belief or confident in God if you believe in God? How do you remain steadfast in that faith?
We should
ask our guests. Well, I
Yeah, I was about to
ask
say,
our
let's
guests
let
who
them-
are our guests, and like, can they give their introduction? So, why you leaving the people out, man?
Oh, I
You always
forgot,
do
man.
that, man.
I thought we did that. I thought we did that. My bad. So scratch the question. I'm gonna come back and grab it. Today on the show we have a good friend of mine, powerful woman of God, anointed. We have Miss Regina in the building. How you doing, Gigi?
Welcome.
Hey, Gigi. I'll call her Gigi for short. Gigi for short. This man is no stranger. I call him RC Cola, but we call him Richie Rich on the set. Welcome, Richie Rich back. So these guests are really not guests; they're family. You know, I consider them as family. And you know, I asked the question a little bit ago, like how you get through tough times. Like these two individuals, I call them jewels, rare people that are 1,000% real. They helped me get through one of the, if not the toughest time in my life these last couple of years. And so, you know, it goes apart with the faith thing, because like my faith was shaking. It was literally shaking. And a lot of people can't admit that. They so highly righteous and overly religious. Like I was shaken up. Like my relationship with God was shaken up because I couldn't believe, like, how did you allow this to happen? I was faithful. I was committed. I was there. I did the right things. And I still caught the storm. But it reminds me of Jesus on the boat with the disciples. A storm arose. But the cool thing was he was on the boat. So in the midst of my boat in life, I had to realize like God was still there and he was not going to allow me to die. Because on the other side, there was a man that they had to get to. You know what I'm saying? So like, I guess my faith was shaking because I wasn't really focusing on the other side. I was focusing on where I was. Like I didn't see me helping nobody else down the line. I was just trying to survive. I was trying to survive this accident, fatality, all airbags out. You know what I mean? Trying to function at a normal way, which I was functioning in a dysfunctional way for so long. Now you get a chance to be normal. I was still in dysfunctional habits. You get what I'm saying? And my faith was shaking. But these two people in the core of like maybe 4 people I can name, well, you and D now, so it's 6, was a firm foundation for me to come back and make me believe again. Because you guys never gave up. You guys always spoke life into me. Without scripture. Just saying, I'm praying for you. God's got you. I got you. You know, what we talked about kind of like on the last episode about like meeting people where they were. Mm-hmm. You guys met me where I was. So like, my faith got renewed and my belief got renewed because I saw it active in people's lives. Real people's lives. I saw them walk it out. And I saw them go through tough situations as well. And so, you know, it leads me into my first question for one of our guests. I'm going to touch on Gigi. How important is faith to you, and why do you have faith?
It's important because it's really all that I know. I know to hold on to God. On the last episode, you guys talked about when things would go wrong or things go wrong in your life and how you would go to certain people in the church, pastors, and they would lead you to a scripture. And you didn't want that. You didn't need that. You needed to have something different, to show you something different. Well, for me, scripture is all that I know. It's what I know to stand on. It's what I know to hold on to. Recently, I just lost my husband, and you know, he's gone now. He's got his wings. He's, you know, in a different place. And what I know is to hold on to God because He's there. You know, if I'm lonely, He's there. You know, if I need someone to talk to, He's there. You know, so I have to have that faith to know that even though I'm going through, even though there's a storm, even though my husband is not here, God is, you know, and I'm holding his hand and he's holding mine and he's leading me. He's telling me where to go, where not to go, what to say, what not to say, you know, what to do and what not to do. Right. He's all that I have, you know. So that's what I know is the scripture. That's my faith. That's my everything. God is my everything.
That's great. You know, like I had a cousin, you know, he recently lost his daughter, 9 years, and I didn't really want to say too much to him. I was just, you know, he was talking about not having faith in God anymore. I was like, you know, this might be the time when you know really want to lose your faith. You know what I mean? You know, that's like all we have left now. Anyway, you know, you can't really, can't turn to people and things. You know, our faith is all we have. You know what I mean? So try not to lose that. And once you lose that, then that's it. You know.
Yeah, it's interesting you had mentioned that, and I had said that earlier. Like Dave, you don't know. Like I was watching you. Like you've been married a short time, but like I took things from you. Like I watched. I'm not gonna get teary-eyed though. I watched you from before.
I don't know that yet.
You know what I mean? And I took little things how you treated money. You feel me? Even though y'all been married a short time, like I took some things, and Gigi, I watched your perseverance, your commitment, your faithfulness to the transition of your hubby, and I took things from that. And Rich, you know, we talked privately. I watched you too, bro. You know, and I took things from you and you too, D. And it was just like when I wanted to, like, man, I was not gonna do this, bro. You started it, bro. Like, but I wanted to throw in the towel and give up on God, though, man. Like, he kept sending reminders to let me know he was there. You know what I mean?
One thing I know too, also too,
I'm good, man.
When you do give up and you backslide, it's hard to get back to where you were before. You know what I mean? 'Cause I've been through it. You know what I mean? I fought with it and I allowed myself to do it, and it's been hard getting back on track. You know what I mean? So it's tough. It's like I said, faith is all we have. It's all we have to lean on, especially with all the things going on. We gotta have some type of faith. Even if you don't believe in God, you gotta have faith in something. Faith is, I think, is what fuels us, what keeps us going.
I think we all have a little faith because, like, you have the faith to believe that your brakes are gonna stop your
Yeah.
car. You know, but I got a question for you, Gigi. In the midst of the loss, how were you able to stay committed to God, still have faith in Him? Like, He took your husband. Like, how were you able to say, like, God, I still trust you. God, I still believe in you. How were you able to do that? Like, watching you from afar, I still don't know how you were able to do that.
Before, I'm sorry, I didn't mean, I just wanted to hold your thought, but I hear a lot of people say what you said too about, so you said God took her husband.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we get in trouble where we say God did it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like with my cousin losing his little daughter, it's like God isn't the reason that happened. There's cancer, things that happen that God didn't do. Like people that we all go through that's going to take you out. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of times we say, oh, God took this from me, God took, but it was life that actually took that. You know what I'm saying? Something that someone went through that they couldn't get healed from. You see what I'm saying? So I think, that's where people start losing faith and they blame God for stuff that He didn't do. And I think we have to say that, hey, well, it's, you're going.
Yeah, I'll reword that. So, how did you still remain faithful to God in the midst of the loss, the transition? Like, how did you still keep your faith? Like, how did you still believe? Because some people, like Dee said, they will blame God for that, and they lose faith and belief in it. So, how did you still keep your faith and belief?
Throughout the whole situation with my husband, I was believing for God to heal him, to make him whole, to take away all the things that he was going through. But when he passed, I realized that everything that I was praying for and asking God for, He actually gave me.
Whoa.
He did take away his pain. He did make him whole. He's just whole somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that's how I hold on to God. That's how I keep the faith. That's how because even though I know it wasn't God that gave him what he had, he took care of the situation. His body wasn't able to sustain what was going on with him, so he had to come out of his body, and get his glorified body.
Right.
So.
And I agree with that.
Hey, Rich, going through your difficulties, like, what made you keep your faith, bro? It's like, this is YouTube, it's the world, and we're brothers, and some stuff you just need to keep to yourself, but me and you know, like, what keeps your faith fuel going, bro? Like, why do you believe?
Well, I mean, even through, I know I have my ups, I have my downs, and I don't show a lot of emotions, and I consistently read the Bible. There's other things I get involved in, YouTube and other pastors, other preachers, listening to them, listening to that, people I'm around. But I also know that God is faithful. No matter what I do, He's positive. And as long as I stay with Him, I'm going to be all right. Nobody around me can do anything else for me but Him. As long as I ask Him, He said, ask and I will give. You have not because you ask not. As long as I stay positive, stay with Him, and stay in His Word, and can't nobody break that bond.
Right.
If I let anybody in that bond, then we got problems. But as long as I stay with Him, and I know it's going to be a brighter day. I know at that time I may be down, but it's going to be a brighter day. So I get away from negativity, stay away from negative thoughts. I keep it positive. No matter how bad I'm down, I stay positive, no matter how bad it looks, because we believe not those things that be not as though they were. So even though I'm in a situation, I know it has to turn around, because that's what God does. He's the God of turnaround. So I have to believe him, because nobody on earth can do anything for me. But as far as I go to him, that's my positive point. And I keep on thanking him until I see it turn around. That's what keeps my faith.
You said staying faithful until the turnaround.
And you say you keep, what are some things that help you to stay positive? Like, you know, do you, other than reading about, what are some things you do or think about that keeps you in a positive mindset?
Well, like I said, I read a lot. Like I said, I watch a lot of pastors, preachers, and ministers on YouTube, things like that. And then my own prayer life. And my wife, she has my back. I can't say she don't. She has my back, and I do have a good support system. A lot of men that I know that back me on certain things that I, not just men, but accountable men.
Yeah, right.
That keeps me in line. So the times that I need to talk, not about the Bible. Tell me how you got it before you got to the Bible.
Right,
tell me the raw dog stuff you did, so we can relate. Otherwise, I can't relate to you.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell me what's going on. Tell me how you did it. How you was a whoremonger. How you was doing this in the streets. How you was doing it before you got to church.
Right.
Before you got your accolades. Before you got your awards. Before you went to school. Tell me what you did in college.
Yeah.
Then we can talk.
Exactly.
But if I don't get to talk to these people the way that I came and the way they came to me, then I can't change nothing.
You're right.
But that's how I talk. We talk that way, and that's the way it is. Like I said, you got to bring yourself down to bring somebody up.
Right. Yeah.
If you can't come down to where they are, you're going to miss everything.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that's how I stay connected.
As I was saying, like the last episode we did, like trying to go to pastors, for help, and they want to throw scriptures at you, pushing away. It's like, oh man, you wasn't always saved. You wasn't always in the pulpit. How did you do it? Like you say, God called me. How did God call you? I mean, what did He do? Like, was you one day fishing? You saw a burning bush that called your name? I mean, like, you have to you have to tell people how, because people may be hearing that same voice, not calling them to be a pastor, but they might say, hey man, I heard that too. So that's the Lord talking to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you told me, instead of just saying the Lord told me or the Lord called me. I mean, how do you know it was the Lord? Did He descend down from heaven and say, I am thou God? Listen to me. I mean, how did that happen? That's what, I hear a lot of pastors say, but they're not explaining that stuff. People need to know. That's how they get they help. You know what I'm saying? Well, I heard that voice too. So the Lord's been talking to me for the last 3 or 4 years. You know what I mean? They don't do that. So, I think they need to come back down and understand, like, you was there too before you got here. You have to come back down. You know what I'm saying? You go through the fire, you go through your storm, you come out, and you're going to know different storms. You're similar. People's going to go through stuff similar. You can help them with that. You know what I mean? You can't be up here all high and mighty. Well, go to Matthew chapter 26 and come to me next week on Wednesday at 3. No, I need some help now, up until, help me now.
Don't make it Wednesday.
Yeah, right, exactly. You know
I
what I mean?
got a question for you also. What are some things that y'all do? I know you say like you keep your faith in God and things and pray to God, but I know it's like negative temptation that always is thrown at y'all. Like it's thrown at everybody. Like there's no way we can block it, but unfortunately we can't stop other people with negativity and stuff. So throwing out temptations and stuff, like what keeps y'all grounded to just stay focused? Cause I know sometimes, man, it could be a little bumpy, you know what I mean, or whatever, or you're saying with your loss, man, you can just be like, dang, it can be one of those nights or something, we're lost, but we don't want to get there, but you know what I mean, like.
You just want to say, forget it, throw in the towel.
Yeah, so like what keeps y'all like focused and grounded and stuff?
Good question.
For me, it's just, I know I keep saying it, just standing on God's word. I know that He's here. He's my protector. My way maker. He's everything. So that's what keeps me grounded. When negativity is thrown my way, I'll call somebody, talk to them about it. Get their opinion on what I should do, or but ultimately I'm asking the Lord, Lord, what do you think I should do about this? How should I go about this? I look to the Lord for everything, for everything. And I know that may sound kind of out there, you know, but even we listen to the same pastor, you know, and as far as even getting dressed in the morning, I asked the Lord, what do you want me to wear today? You know, what is it that you have in store for me today? Who is it that I need to talk to today? You know, so that's what keeps me grounded. You know?
So what? Like,
Y'all got me listening to him too now. Go ahead, Dave.
Do you mind sharing who the pastor is? In case somebody was wondering.
CD.
Creflo Dollar.
Oh, okay.
What does it for me is I done failed so many times with females, males, decisions, life. I done failed so many times. Now it's more so flags go up. Remember, you were here before. Are you gonna pass this test or you gonna fail? So if you gonna flunk it again and feel that you went back, or you gonna pass it and keep moving. You know, we get this men, females, you know, women, we're mail carriers. There's certain things that you don't put yourself in situations. And a lot of times I put myself in that situation and didn't know how to get out. And felt that whatever went on, I had to do it to say my ego wouldn't let me out. So a lot of things that you do is like, you know, fail so many times, you see it coming before it gets there. You've already prayed for the day. So you're walking out your prayer as you go. Anything that's not lining up with the prayer that you walked out, you leave it alone. That'll keep you safe. But anything that comes along that gets in your way, you've already been there. So why go back? There was a pastor told me one time, he said, I was involved in this situation and I kept doing it. And he said the Lord spoke to him and said, if you keep on going back into doing what you're doing, every time you do it, you put me back on the cross. So why you keep putting me back on that cross when I've already saved you from that? So
Bars.
I'm not going to keep on putting him back on the cross. It's something that I did. So I don't want to repeat it. I want to pass it. And every time I pass it, I go 2 steps up. So next time, the temptation's not even there because it doesn't bother me. That's why I'm already beyond that. So, and as we keep going, you know, temptations get more, but it's more so, are you going to pass or you going to fail? But when you see the trigger go up, that's when you stop. And you got to think. If I go this step here, is it going to take me 3 steps back or 1 step forward? Or is it just going to delete you at all? Which I got to stay moving and positive and keep it going because I don't want to go back. So, I mean, some people don't even think, you know, one little sin or one big sin. Sin is sin. If you go to the grocery store, you put your cart in the cart rack, like you said, you pass. If you get in your car, leave your cart sitting there in the middle of the aisle,
You flunked.
you flunk. They don't think that's a sin, but it's a sin.
Flunked.
So we sin daily, but it just depends on how you look at your sin. So anything that keeps me positive, I've been there before, so I'm just going to pass the test.
I like what you said, Rich. My grandparents used to tell me, like, God is not going to pass you through the test if you flunk. You're going to have to repeat it over and over again. And the crazy thing is, the test is open book. You got the answers in the book. It's an open book test. You know, we choose to get caught up in our own egos or our own ways, like Richard's saying. I think for me, what helps me is being humble and grateful. Keeps me grounded. Because I see these people out there with signs that could have been me outdoors with no shoes, no food. And so the fact that he counts me worthy of being used because I know me, you know what I mean, and still blesses me in spite of me, like it makes you have a heart of gratefulness and it makes you humble. Like, I'm not all that in a bag of chips. You know what I mean? I'm just an old filthy rag that he chooses to use, you know, for his glory. So like when you realize that he can use anybody to do what we're doing now, you know, there's nothing special about us, but the fact that we're covered by grace and he chooses to use us and he loves us, you know what I mean? So being humble and grateful keeps me grounded.
So let's just say if some random stranger just walks up on y'all, hey, I need some advice. Like, is this? Like, what would you tell someone going through the same thing that you're going through? Like, even though it's like still fresh, like, and that come with you some freshness. Like, I know it's gonna be some things that's gonna trigger you, but what is some things that you would say that give them some type of comfort out of yourself?
Let me add to that real quick. And they're not trying to hear the word of God. You know what I mean? So what words, how would you encourage them?
Yes, that's somebody that just went through what she went through.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, how would you encourage a grieving widow that just lost her spouse?
It's a hard question.
It's interesting.
Hard
Yeah,
question.
I mean, it's hard, but it's also
Yeah.
tell them your story.
yeah,
Because you can only do what your story did.
yeah,
So you tell them your story. Well, I'm gonna say what I was telling them how I did it.
yeah.
But also I gotta listen to. You can't just come ask me something. You don't tell me nothing. So you gotta tell me something so I can go off of it, and then I can tell you how, lead you in how I did it,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna exchange numbers so we can help each other out.
Right. Yeah.
But you can only go by your story, but what they tell you.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
you can't just have someone come up on you and say, help me. You ain't got nothing going. So people say, pray for me.
Yeah.
Which one they pray for?
I see a lot of people
Right.
on social media pray for
You
Right.
their
gotta
family,
get something to pray for.
Yeah, like, you know, I can't just pray for you. Give me something to go to the Lord with, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
hey, God, I'm praying for this person right here. I'm praying for him. Amen. You know what I mean? You don't have nothing to go on. You know what I
Right.
mean?
So that's basically
Yeah.
a desolate prayer.
So I guess I can make a plan for you, Gigi. They come to you. They lost their husband. They don't want you to pray for them. They don't want no scripture. They don't want to go to church, and they don't believe in God no more. How would you comfort and minister to that person?
I'll probably tell them that that person is in their husband or whoever it is that they lost is in a better place. I would want to pray for them. You know?
Yeah.
I would want to pray for them.
I think that's one of those things that's like, you know, I'm sorry to cut you off too,
That's
but
okay.
it's one of those things, it's like when you're so like filled with faith and everything, like, you can be like, I don't want to hear nothing about God, but how would you get through it? Well, unfortunately, you want to hear something about God.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I know.
That's the only thing I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So how
Yeah.
would you? How would you?
So you coming to me
Yeah,
and
no,
saying that
yeah.
you want to hear something about God, so I'm going to go ahead and give you something about God, you know what I mean? So, that is a hard question. I'll just,
It really is, yeah.
Oh, really? I think for me, like, because I'm doing that now to people that's been through some of the things I went through, is that I tell them the journey, but then I give it to them in a godly way at the end. Like I'm pulling them in, like with the bait, I'm reeling you in. And then at that end, once we get the fish on the bank, it's like, but this is how I got through all of that. Like I made it through all this, I survived all this, but this is how. You know what I mean? Like I kind of meet them right where they are at the moment. And then at the end, I'm like, boom, but this is my daddy brought me
Yeah,
out.
right.
You know,
But then
my
also-
faith brought me out of
I think you can also, you can relate to somebody
it. Mm-hmm.
without using the word God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
yeah.
keep it positive without using the Lord. You can keep it, it's all about how you word.
True.
You don't have to say what they don't want you to say. You can keep it in the same text.
Yeah.
You don't have to say faith, but you can say believe.
Believe.
You don't have to say God. You're gonna say, but what we know. There's certain ways you can do it, and then keep them as abreast. But see, my thing is this: nobody's gonna tell you anything until you can relate to them.
Yeah, right.
So if you can't get a relationship with them, they're not gonna tell you anything.
Correct.
So my thing is this: I'm gonna see where you at. You're gonna tell me this, this, and that. Let's exchange numbers and let's talk.
Right, exactly.
I'm gonna form a relationship with you, and we're gonna become buddies.
Yeah.
And then as we become buddies, you will be saved. You will be believing God when we get done.
Yeah.
But I got to relate to you.
Yeah.
Because if we don't have this,
Yeah.
we don't have the interaction, there's nothing.
Yeah,
Faith
right.
knuckles.
Like, if you don't have
Yeah.
nothing to go on, it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know how I'm gonna get in and help you. You know what I mean?
Right? So that I don't pray to God because He don't answer my prayers. Okay, when you prayed, did you send your angels out to go and do what you asked them to do? What angels? Do you know how many angels you have when you pray?
Yeah.
Did
Wow.
you give your angels anything to go and do? No, you have thousands of angels sitting there idle,
Right.
but you didn't send them out to do nothing.
Right.
But that's why your prayers ain't being answered.
Mhm.
But then once again, they pray the same prayer the next day.
Right.
So you don't pray the same prayer the next day because what you're saying to God is, I don't believe you're going to do it.
Right.
So you got to pray and thank Him
Thank you.
until it comes.
Right.
Yeah.
Most people want to pray the same prayer every single day, so they keep
That's
killing,
powerful,
killing,
man.
killing,
I
they pray,
never-
never get no answer.
I know about that.
I never heard about that. Like, just pray about it, let it go. It's already been answered.
Yeah.
Just wait on the answer.
Thank you. Just keep thanking
Wow.
And when
until
you-
it comes.
And when you're trying to help people too, like you said, like when my cousin lost his daughter, you know, at the funeral home, they were throwing scriptures around and saying this and that. It's like the family's grieving right now. It's not time to be telling people that, hey, you know, little such and such, she had to go to the Lord. For one, kids pass away, they don't talk to the Lord and have to get, you know, they're automatically getting taken. You know what I mean? So you have to be, you know what you're talking about when you say, you can't say, you know, well, she had to answer the Lord, you guys got to do the same. It's like, no, kids don't answer to God until they get to a certain age of understanding. Then that's when things change, you know, and it's like, it's not the time to be promoting, you know, funeral home, you know, people are grieving and stuff like that. You can't be telling people, go to, you know, you got to comfort them, let them grieve. And then, like you said, bring it in later, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I think, like you said, Kiwi always said, it's about listening, you know what I'm saying? Listen to people. Like he said, well, what's your story?
Yeah.
Listening to them, let them get them out. It's kind of like the best help. You know what I mean? Like, what are you going through?
I want to ask you.
Just listening to
Well,
them.
hold on.
My bad. Go ahead,
real quick. I
Okay.
think one of the things that one of the, like the realest explanations I heard too, like, I mean, this is the first time I heard this. Like people were like, well, why did God take them from me? And God responded, because it never was yours. Like,
Phew. Hold on, Dave. Go back. Do that again, bro.
like people ask, why did God take them from me? And God responded, because they were never yours.
Wow.
Like, I think that's like so deep, man. Like sheesh. You know, when I heard that,
That's
it just hit me
wow.
like, dang, man.
Wow.
The whole time, like, people being frustrated. Like, I don't know if you got frustrated or not, but just hearing like different stories and stuff, people was getting frustrated with them when they said that. It's like, man, so.
Yeah, I got a tough question to ask you, Gigi. Maybe not tough. How were you able during that time and that journey, and like, you know, your closest friends saw you go through that, and we couldn't feel what you felt, but we kind of saw you going through that. How were you able to remain committed and faithful to him to the very end? Because some people are throwing the towel and that's too much for them, or they're overwhelmed by that. You know, it says through sickness and health to death do us part. You walked that thing out with grace and dignity and faithfulness to him to the end. How were you able to do that, like going through that?
Because I was believing that he was going to be healed. You know, I was believing through the whole thing that, you know, God is this great big great big God, and he can do all things. So in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, you know, this is going to go well. You know, he's going to miraculously heal him. You know, he's going to turn it around. You know, he's the God of the turnaround. You know.
I'm gonna tell y'all this, man. Like, and Rich, you know, and other people know that are close in our knit circle. Like, I didn't know where you got the strength to do that stuff. Like my human side of me was just like, yo, that's wild. Like, I trust God and believe in him too, but like to go through that, the duration that you went through that, you know, and just watching you was like, yo, like, that's the meaning of faithfulness. Like, in plain sight. Like, I got a plain sight example of, for better or for worse, sickness and health, like watching you. And which is preparing me for the next season. You know what I mean? Like, you never know, just because you're going through, who's watching you go through and how you get through. You know, and so just watching you do that, never wavered your faith. Put him first over everything. Like the job, whatever, like you was on it. And it's just like I gotta give you your flowers while you're here. Like, a lot of people don't do that. They take off, oh, here, the nurse can handle it. Like, the doctor can handle it. Like, you were there every step of the way. And like, I don't know if I ever told you that, like, I really saw the Holy Spirit working in your life during that time. Like, some people shout and give praise to God only on the sunny days. You still did it on the thunderstorm days, the hurricane, the tornado, you still did it. You never wavered. And it's just like,
that's because I was believing that he was gonna be
Yeah.
healed.
Yeah.
You know, through the whole, everything that he went through, I was believing, God got this, you know, he's gonna turn this around,
Right.
you know.
Wow.
Actually, you know, with this loss, do you recommend like people to get like therapy sessions, like have somebody like to go through therapy? Like, what would you say about that? Like, have you done any like therapy, anything like that? Or would you recommend people to, like, if they needed to go through like some type of therapy or anything? That's
If
just-
they needed it,
yeah.
yeah, if they needed it. Therapy is good, but you just gotta be willing to do it,
Right.
you know. And for me, my therapist
It's the Lord. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
is the
The
Lord.
Lord.
It's the best. It's the
He's
best
my
therapy.
Mighty counselor.
Yeah.
So,
So like another question, because you're still, this is fresh.
mhm.
Like this happened not too long ago. How are you able? Because I know you have those tough nights because he's not there, the bed and just in the house, like and going through the grieving process. How are you able to still have that faith and that commitment to God? How are you able to still stay like on that faith journey, going through the grieving process?
Because I know where he is. You know, he's in God's hands. And even though it's tough at night, you know.
Do you sometimes like feel his presence around, like when
Oh,
y'all-
yeah. Yes, I do.
Yo.
I used to call him the light police. You know,
Turn the lights off?
because I had a problem with leaving lights on in the house. So he used to always get on me about turning the lights off.
That's all
So-
right. Turn the lights off.
Me
man.
too, man. Why is that light on?
Yeah.
So after he passed, I was standing in the kitchen and we didn't even use the alarm in the house. The alarm went off.
Mm.
Yo.
So I went to the panel, which is by the door to the garage, and I went to press the panel and I looked down, the light switch is right there. I had the light on
Mm.
in the garage. So it was almost like he was telling me, girl, cut that light on.
I'm still here. You
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, people who don't really believe in anything under past the five senses. Like a lot of people don't believe they can't see, touch, taste, hear. It's not real, but the spiritual realm is real. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it's very real, and I only say it because I experienced that stuff before. You know what I mean? When you see that stuff, it's like, you know, like when stuff like that happen, like the lights and stuff coming on. That's just not happening. It doesn't happen all of a sudden. It happens. You know, it don't
Mhm.
stuff don't work like that. You know what I mean? There's something that's causing that to happen. You know what I mean? You know.
Rich, what causes you, bro, to still, you know, pursue, chase after the mark? Why is it important for you to stay on your faith journey? What's the legacy you're trying to leave?
Because it's not over. I haven't seen what God's going to bring out of me for the better part of the journey. See, I don't want to start thinking it's my vision. It's His vision. I'm just following the path. So I know whatever He has going on is going to get better. And where I'm at now is not where I'm going to be next year or the year after that. There's a bigger thing going on. So I have to stay connected. If I don't have Him, I have nothing. If I fall, my village falls. If I fall, my wife, my kids, and all them are going to see destruction. So I got to stay up. Otherwise, it's going to be some issues.
Right.
So I don't want to see myself fall. And if I do, I got to get back up. But I don't want to see that. So I got to stay rooted and grounded in Him.
Right.
I got to stay in Him because without Him, I have nothing. And that's where a lot of my hiccups and mess ups was when I wasn't involved with Him. So I have to stay connected.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like you plug into something and you plug that light in there, the light comes on. When you take it out, it's off. If you don't stay with Him, then you're off. So I just have to stay with Him, and that's my only answer. And that's how I stay connected.
I got a question from the internet. Along the praying with God, do you find yourself sometimes, Gigi, having conversations with your hubby? Like, do you find yourself like saying, "Hey, you know, I miss doing this and that," and do you find yourself doing that?
You know, I say it all the time, you know, through the house, I walk through the house and say, I really do miss you, Kim. I
Yeah.
really do, you know, I miss you. I even ask God, you know, God, what's Kim up there doing right now? What is he doing? You know, or I'll tell him I said hi, tell him I love him, you know. Does he miss me? You know, things like that. So yeah, you know, I do.
Saying that, can y'all still hear your mom calling your name in the house when you was living in the house?
I still hear
So
it
think
now,
about
bro.
that. As
Still hear
in
it
saying,
now.
asking her about her husband. I can still hear my mom
Right.
Yeah.
saying my name, or when I was getting a whooping, I can still hear her telling me what she was saying in the room.
If I don't open
So,
the door for a
it's
woman,
like-
I can hear her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
She said your full first, second, and
yeah,
last name.
and then she'll call me, my brother and sister in chronological order.
Yeah.
So it's like I can still hear that. So
Richard
to
Timothy
think about that,
Cunningham.
it's like, I can't really, you know, the passing and stuff like that. You're gonna have conversations. You're gonna see that person. You're gonna be sitting there like, oh my gosh, I can hear him coming down the steps. It just happens. It's not that the person is. Now I've actually was washing dishes one time, and I was about 13,
Yeah.
and I was in the kitchen washing dishes, and I heard somebody come downstairs. Wasn't nobody in the house but me. I heard somebody coming down the steps, came around the corner, came to the kitchen and stopped.
Sure.
Oh, wow.
Scared me to death. I don't know what was going on. But that's the first time I ever experienced a spirit. But it was a demonic
Did you see
spirit.
the spirit?
No, I didn't see it. When I turned around, everything stopped.
I actually seen some spirits. Like I was at the top of my, like you can look down the stairs and outside the doors right there. When you run the corners, the living room and the kitchen. So I'm just up looking at the step, I'm a little kid, and I saw two shadows come around. They took 2 steps up. I guess they knows I was there, and they disappeared. I didn't see no one. I still heard the steps squeaking, and I felt a presence go past me, and I'm like, right. So like you come around the corner to go up the steps. So they came around the corner, took a couple steps and disappeared, like white shadows. I can still hear the steps, and I can feel a presence going by. It's kind of chilling, you know, stuff like that. You know, and it's like when you experience stuff like that, it's like, you know, but you can't tell everybody like that. Then they want to put you in a straight jacket and give you medicine all day. You know what I mean? Like,
You know what?
that
Also,
stuff is real.
the spirits, the spirit too, man. Like, it's crazy. Like you know what I'm saying? Like the cold shit. Every time I see but the spirit just comes around so much. Like crazy. That's why I get goosebumps and everything, man. And like, it's just crazy.
Give
us Olympics! I thought this was a spirit forward. Yes, give us Olympics! Give us
He knew it was coming, Gina. He had to do the whole show. He told me he didn't have the bag earlier.
He's waiting for that.
Gina, you didn't say no, it's coming. It's easy, Gina.
Regina and Richmond, give us Olympics!
Dang.
The spirit of give us Olympics! The spirit, give us Olympics! Woo!
Hey, y'all should have seen that reaction. Gina saw a ghost for real. I think her soul left her body for a split second and came back. You should have knew it was coming. If y'all watch the show, y'all know this
Hey,
thing
you know something, man. Every day, every show.
You don't see Kibbles a bit something wrong. You got hit Dave. Dave, you alright, man? Kibbles a bit, what's up?
It feels so funny, man. My supervisor at work, then I go back to him, so I'm sorry.
Hey, you go ahead, D.
He be want me to say Kip was a bit so bad at work. Now I'm not going to say it, man. Because, you know, I get excited, man. I'll talk about. I ain't gonna do it.
Well, yeah, I was.
Kip was in this. I was gonna do it. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it again. You got you.
I love it when he does that. Keep on big sponsors, man. We're waiting for y'all. But yeah, I was talking to one of my best friends, one of his daughters, and we were talking about his transition because he transitioned earlier in January this year. And I said, remember the memories that y'all had, because like he still lives on in those memories. You know, he may be gone from this place, but remember those things y'all did. You know, have those memories. Never let them die, because that brings them back alive. You know what I mean? Remember those times. Remember those talks. Remember that time you screened your fiance and all that fun stuff. Just remember those times. You know, never forget the memories. You know.
But always remember as well, you will see that person again.
There it is.
And that's like the goal. You will see that person again.
And regardless what you go through, don't lose your faith. You know what I mean? Keep the faith. Cause that's what keep us going, just having that faith, you know, and that God is there, and He's going to take care of us.
I think also too, when you're going through your tough times, like get around real people, other like-minded people. If you're into the faith and you believe in God, like get around like godly people, man. Like stay around the community, man. Never be disconnected. You know, never go alone with it by yourself. I learned that the hard way. Never go alone by yourself. You need other people to pull you through. That's how you get in depression and you have those thoughts. You gotta stay connected, man. Like you're just in a tough situation right now. It's going, like Rich said, it's going to turn around. You know, sooner or later the rainbow comes out. Sooner or later the sun shines through the clouds. You know what I mean? It just put your umbrella up, dance in the rain. You know, it's building character in you, it's building maturity in you, and it's going to be used for something later on to bring Him glory.
Yeah.
You want to add anything else, Dave?
No, I just want to say
Well,
thank
you
you.
better not grab that daggone bag again.
Yeah, man. Give us a bit one more time. Hey, where's the you talking to?
I don't think
You
he
don't
knows,
send me
bro.
a threat. You know, I like to do threats, man. You know, I like that, man. Don't challenge me, man. You know what I'm saying? But give us that bitch! Boy, I don't know who he thought he was. Give us a bitch, man. Give us a bitch!
We're going to end this show kind of like dope. Before we end it, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Share it on all your social media platforms. Hit that notification bell so you know when the videos are dropping. What's one thing I want all you guys to answer this that you would leave to encourage somebody from this show today? What's one thing? Going from you, Dave, Gina, Rich, and then with True.
I don't want to go first.
You don't want to go first? Okay, you want?
Okay.
Okay.
I think about it still.
Okay, so we'll go Regina, Rich, Truth, and then we'll come back to you, Dave. What's one thing you want to leave the audience, something that you can drop in their spirit to encourage them to continue to press forward?
But God.
Yeah, there it is.
Love it.
Keep the faith.
That's what I was going to say. Keep your faith. That's it. God and faith.
Hey, what they said.
Diddle?
Yeah, ditto. Yeah, there you go. Ditto.
Yeah.
Sir.
Hey, so, hey man, find us on YouTube. Find us on Instagram. _Corner_Pocket on IG. We on TikTok. We on Facebook. All right, and he gave me a little thing to say it's time to go. So,
And thank the guests for coming out. Appreciate y'all
Thank
listening
y'all.
and
Thank
everything,
y'all.
man.
No, I like when you teach the guests that. That's why I did
okay,
that.
So, Fish didn't want to be. He didn't want to do it last time. He wanted to be a jerk. And this tomorrow, no, I'm gonna get up and do it. Yeah, so I'm gonna go DCP, the corner pocket. I don't mean the 8 ball. So I go boom, 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 boom. Right? Which one? You want to do something funny or what should we do?
DCB.
No, DCP,
DCB.
the corner pocket, and I don't mean the 8 ball.
And I don't mean the
So
A-ball.
what should we do instead of boom, 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 boom? What should we do?
She probably gonna say hallelujah.
There it is. Alright, so ready? So 1, 2, ready, go. DCP, the corner pocket. I don't mean the 8 ball. Keep the faith. Wow!